a lot to go after the Horde scene. But he reckons he'll have a rough cut ready to show me around the 8th of June, which is really good. So I look forward to seeing that. And what we'll have to do then, of course, is revisit the first half and just make sure that that kind of matches as close as possible Ben's half that he's edited, so the film doesn't jar. But yeah, look forward to showing you guys what we've got. And hopefully, once he's done his bit, we can get some sort of trailer put together as well, because I'm sure people will be dying to see a trailer for it.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Maybe something for the 15th of June for spitting how quick that could come. Ooh. Trying to generate buzzer excitement here.
I think we'll be pushing it there. But,
I think we will be, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a bit ambitious. Though.
Very ambitious.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I'm pretty pleased with the progress that's being made. I know it's been a long time coming, and I do often get asked, "Look, guys, when the hell's this thing going to come out?" You started filming it in April 2018. Yeah, okay, but we've all got full-time jobs. This is a hobby. It's something we do in our spare time. That's why filming took as long as it did. I have to. Some months I could only do one filming day because I was struggling to get a crew together. I can't just go out and do all this myself. I'm reliant on people helping me, and the people that are part of Beacon Productions have been great. They've all chipped in, as have several mates as well, like you two. Matt, it's probably an appropriate time to mention the fact that you've taken on the task of scoring the film, so you're putting the music together for it. Tell us.
Thank you very much. That. So, when did you send me the script? That was about 3 years ago. 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
I wrote it latter half of 2017, so it's probably 2018, I think.
Right. Okay. So since then, I started getting some ideas down. It started off with the theme tune. I do believe I came around yours as well, didn't I? And we watched a bit of John Carpenter to get sort of a Carpenter buzz.
That's right. Which one did we watch? I can't remember because I wanted to show you Assault on
we watched
13, but I couldn't find that one.
Oh no,
I think Escape from New York.
That was it. Yeah, Escape from New York. But we also watched Dawn of the Dead as well. Seem to remember.
He's doing some magic, Matt.
He is doing some magic. Yeah,
no, you just crack on. No, I've got the zombie cards out.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Good trick, mate. But yeah, so
they can't talking.
I got some ideas down, which we obviously collaborated on, and finally settled on something, which then changed because sometimes I find that. So you're talking about it being a hobby, and so when I listen to something that I've done, it may be sort of 2-3 weeks down the line where I've listened to it again and I think, oh, actually, that might actually sound better if I did this. And so I do give credit to full-time musicians because they have a time gap to do this kind of stuff in, whilst where I've got the flexibility of going back to it a month later and saying, well, actually, that sounds pretty bad. I actually thought that sounded pretty good. And I revise it, and it seems to turn out a lot better than I thought. But where I'd always fancied having a go at a soundtrack, my ideal job would be to do a game soundtrack of some kind. I've always wanted to do that, and I still hope I will get the opportunity to do that at some point. But this is a good start, and yeah, it's been fun. I've had a lot of fun putting certainly some ambient noises together, which is something I very rarely do. I find it very difficult to peel away from doing tracks that doesn't have a rhythm or anything like that. But what I have learned from this experience is that actually it's a lot more fun putting some weird shit together and listening to that. And I think certainly with lockdown and COVID-19 and things like that, what I have been doing with some of the ambient stuff is when I've been walking the dog, I've been putting my headphones in, and I've been, certainly when it's getting dark now, to just have a walk around where there's absolutely nobody around, put this on, and think, would this fit into what the film's going to be like?
So basically, trying to freak yourself out whilst walking the dog.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
So, putting it that way, That's the whole premise of it. So
we just lost Liam.
I know I've just been moved up to the top, and Liam's video's just gone off. Yeah, so
top tier. Top tier.
I'll start getting my illuminated bookcase and my e-cig out. Yeah,
I
don't
think
know. Can you still hear us?
Top tier as well. The host has dropped out. Do you
Are you still there, Liam?
Trick, he's made himself disappear.
I can hear him, but
Yeah,
I've got to look down now, haven't I? When I'm talking, I can't. I've got to. So yeah, so Liam, basically, what? That's fine. I'll carry on talking. You sort the video
carry on
up.
talking. Liam will just reappear at some point.
So yeah.
No, I can't say that.
Why can't you say that? He doesn't like
I was going to say the version of Abracadabra that I used on YouTube the other day, but it wouldn't be appropriate.
Right. So, but during
hello, mate. Welcome back.
During them doing the scoring, one of my online pals, which we have met now, we've met a couple of times now. His name's Alan. He was a music producer, and he still does help out musicians from time to time. And he certainly helped me out because he's pointed me in a lot of directions. Certainly in terms of expanding outside of what I'm normally used to. There is a whole range of virtual instruments from a company called Native Instruments, and some of the sounds that come out of that are absolutely incredible. Yeah, so you might hear a divide between some of the earlier stuff and some of the later stuff, because some of the later stuff includes a lot of these new instruments and effects that I've been using. I'm like, wow, I've been living under a rock for the last 10 years. So yeah, and I during that course as well, I bought a new keyboard, which at the moment has Life Through a Lens by Robbie Williams musical score on it, but that is a Nectar.
Just saw Liam's face though.
Nah, that's a good album, I'll have you know. That the Nectar panorama
piece.
piece.
Got Rock DJ on it.
No, it hasn't got Rock. It was his first one. It's the one that had
Let Me Entertain You.
Let Me Entertain You, Angels, yeah, that lot. It's good album, but I haven't got any of his other albums because, yeah. Anyway,
sorry, it's not my scene.
Well, I don't. It just the tracks on that album are just, I just think they're pretty cool. So Let Me Entertain You is something I've always wanted to do a cover of at some point, but I have to be in a band to do that first.
What's the one where he used the? We way off topic now, but I suppose Rock DJ might be bringing it slightly back onto topic, because didn't the music video for that involve people on roller skates ripping parts of their body off?
Yeah, so they started off by ripping clothes off, and then Robbie Williams ripped his butt cheeks off, and then started ripping in, and I think they started eating him as well, but that was edited.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. Yeah. Hence,
so yeah, that is bringing it back.
Slightly back on topic.
Absolutely. So yeah, that is. So you've heard the music. Obviously, when you did your first 40 minutes edit, that we did the first 10 minutes of. So talking about putting the soundtrack to the editing. Do stop me if I'm waffling, but if you've got any questions,
no,
whatever.
you crack on, mate.
But when I saw the first 10 minutes of that edit from, I forget his name now. Tippers, that's it, Tippers. I was trying to think of his first name, but Tippers, yes.
Tippers did the first 42 minutes, people.
Right, that's it. So having watched that, but certainly the first 10 minutes, I found it, again, it was a new experience to put some music over something that had already been edited. Yeah, so I sat there for an evening watching that first 10 minutes over and over again with you and your love for Cactus, and
yeah,
we.
I'm gonna have to tone that down. I think we'll revisit that scene in a bit.
No, leave it in. It's great. Well, don't
Not
take it out.
I did then.
So so I came up with that track that I then played you, and it just seemed to fit in perfect. So I could see when it was going to transition into when you're going into the house, and then you bandaging yourself up and then flopping to the floor. That was really good to actually put music over something I was watching, because when I'm doing the music, I'm trying to envisage in my own head how that scene's going to play out. Well, this is what I would like to see, but Russ might have different ideas, or whoever's doing the editing might have different ideas. Which is why I said the other day over the phone that if Ben wants to contact me and say, well, actually, you know, could you do another 30 seconds in this slot, and could you do another minute on top of that? So, but it's good. It's nice. It's good to be able to make something towards obviously a larger creative project, and it seems to be doing well. I certainly am enjoying it, and you know, I hope you know it's what you're expecting, because you know, obviously when you were filming it, you know, you must have had your own ideas of.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre. Obviously, I wrote the thing, and I was keen to direct it, but then I stupidly put myself as the lead actor as well. Now, actually, I should probably clarify there. I have no real acting experience. I've done some for decent productions. I don't profess to be good at acting at all. However, the reason, my rationale behind putting myself as lead actor, it's quite simple. Like I said a minute ago, you know, I struggled to put crew together to film these things. So I knew the same would apply to getting actors together as well. So I thought, I'm always available when I'm available. So I'm always going to be available on the days where I'm going to be directed. So why not stick myself in as the main actor? It was as simple as that. Keep things nice and simple. If I'm honest, I'm writing a short film at the moment. I'll probably take just a little cameo role in that, because trying to sort out stuff from behind the camera and act in front of the camera, and because we're not a big production, you've got all these other things to be mindful of, like continuity, all these other things that a big production would have. So on a big production, you would have someone who's purely in charge of continuity, wouldn't you? As on a small amateur film like this, basically that's the director who's trying to be mindful of things like that. But you've got your mind on so many other things that you do make mistakes. So yeah, there are going to be continuity issues. The main one in the film is going to be the length of my hair. I did my best to try and keep it. Yeah. Because we obviously shoot the film out of order, and some scenes you'll go from it being this long to completely grade 1 to longer than this. It is what it is, isn't it? It is an amateur film. I've done my best to try and keep it the same length, but I can't just magically make my hair longer one day when there's crew available to film. So yeah.
She used a wig the whole time.
No, I think there was one use of a wig in the film, and that was to. Why did we use the wig? I'm trying to think. My mum played a zombie, and
Did you just scalp someone?
I needed to drag that zombie across grass, having dispatched it, and I didn't think that dragging my 60-something-year-old mother
60-plus mum
was particularly a good idea. So I decided to stick that wig on a mate, and I dragged my mate across the grass instead. And then when my mum came to film the scene where before the zombie had been dispatched, I put the wig on her. I put the same clothes on her. So yeah, little little trick, shall we say?
Like a big Dolly Parton wig, was it? Or Brian?
It was, yeah. I'd love to be able to say, check out this clip, but we haven't got one geared
That's
up.
the kind of thing that you have in like a did you know trivia thing on IMDb, isn't it? Did you know that the person being dragged away isn't actually the director's mum? It's
Well, in fact, it's
because lots of zombie films, the director's mum gets dragged.
exactly,
like a tradition.
It was a chap called Luke, and actually, like you say, this would be another trivia thing. Luke's played 5 different roles in this film. I'll see if I can remember them all off the top of my head.
Oh, this is the guy at your work, isn't it? This is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He played a zombie. I won't say how he gets dispatched because it would be a bit of a spoiler, but he plays a zombie in the woods. He plays the elderly lady zombie that I've just talked about. sorry, Mum, I've just called you elderly. Well, you are, aren't you? Let's face it.
What? This Luke?
Eh?
This Luke? Oh.
Which Luke? Sorry, where
That's
is
only
he?
Luke on. Sorry, I'll put it on the screen.
That's
I'll put it on the
Hi,
stream.
Luke.
That Luke. This is Luke.
That's good effort, mate. Well found. What did I get to? 1, 2. He played a zombie staggering along the roadside, and on that occasion we put him in like an anorak or something just to cover up his head. Oh, I'd done 2 other things. What were they? Man, I've forgotten. Yeah.
Dressed up like
remember.
Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, yeah, with a...
With a rocket launcher.
Straight over my head. I have no idea.
Why'd you mention Res 3? That's the only one I haven't got. I've got 2, 4, 5, and 6 here.
That was the best one.
Well, it's not the
Sorry.
only one you haven't got then. You haven't got the first one.
That is true. I do have Operation Raccoon City as well, but that's crap.
So anyway.
All the fourth, all the fifth.
He's done 2 other things. I can't remember what they were.
4 and 5.
Oh, okay, you have got the fourth, fifth. That's good.
Right. But anyway,
Limited edition 6.
oh.
So anyway, yes. So Luke's played all these parts.
Yeah, he's done some other stuff as well. I can't remember. We had another question.
All right.
On Instagram, Riverkeeper UK. That's an amazing name, isn't it? Riverkeeper.
Oh, it's good.
Riverkeeper.
Harbour Master, do you reckon?
No, you just said River. Hey, you just said
Yeah,
Riverkeeper.
well, his Insta name is Riverkeeper UK.
Yeah.
So,
Or it's just a really cool Insta name.
You think that's his name? Riverkeeper? Well,
No,
that's
I
not
just
his
think it's
name.
like an online name or something. I'm assuming, but
That's what we're saying. I'm just saying it's quite a cool tag. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a cool tag. Like, I wonder if he's like a harbour master or something. It sounds pretty cool, Riverkeeper. But anyway,
Get on with the question.
I know his name's actually John, and John came along. What's funny about that?
It's just the way you were contemplating what his real name is. You went,
I wonder what his name is. Oh wait, it's John. I knew it all along.
I didn't say I wonder what his name is.
Didn't you? Oh, he did, didn't he, Liam? Is that his real name?
So I will be able to play this later, and I'll prove you wrong.
Right, we got
Go on then,
Harbour.
read out
John,
Harbour
you
Master
need-
John's question. Go on.
Yeah.
It's just disclaimer. He might not be a harbour master. I'm just saying it's a cool
for
name.
God's
It makes him sound like
sake.
a harbour master. But anyway, John said, Riverkeeper UK said, "Hey guys, when do you reckon the movie will be ready for release?" Well, John or Mr. Riverkeeper UK, the film is coming soon, and that's about all I can say. I'm afraid. I'd love to be able to say, "Oh, this time next week," but I can't say that because I have no idea.
Well, no, I mean, it definitely won't be ready by then. So you'd be outrightly lying if you said by the end of next week, wouldn't you?
That was
Yeah,
absolute
I would
fibbing.
imagine.
Sorry.
I don't think I've done all my stuff for end of next week, and if you think I'm going to get all my stuff done by the next week, then sorry, John.
John, I'm going to say by the end of the year, 2020, I'm committing. By the end of this year, it's going to be ready. I'm confident because, and the reason I say that is because Ben, who's doing the editing at the moment, he's been furloughed, which ain't exactly great for Ben, but it's great for the time. It's giving him a lot more time to do the edit, and he's really keen and he's making a lot of progress. So I've got to think positively, and Ben's going to deliver. So I reckon by the end of this year, we'll be able to show you Day 66. If we can't, I apologise. It'll be next year. But for my sanity, if nothing else, I'm really hopeful to be able to deliver it to you by the end of this year. So I hope that answers your
Hashtag back Ben.
I think realistically, I mean, if you look at what has already been edited, and certainly from my point of view, from the musical and aspect of it, unless Ben is going to be asking for any specifics, I would I would say that I've probably provided 70-80% of what's required so far in terms
I
of
expect
soundtrack
so,
work.
yeah.
And seeing what's already been edited, and as you just said, by the sound of what the speed that Ben's going at.
The main issue we'll have is there's going to be an awful lot of Foley sound that we need to go out and record once it's edited together. And the reason for that is because we shot in a load of locations which looked great for the sort of post-apocalyptic feel of the film, but had a lot of background noise. And so we weren't able to film those particular scenes with any sound. For instance, we shot a lot of these scenes in the forest next to the M27 motorway. It looked great in the woods, but the sound of heavy traffic passing in the background doesn't kind of fit in with the feel of Jack's the only person still alive.
Yeah.
We've got to get back out there, and the Foley's going to be quite a big project in itself. But hopefully, if this blooming lockdown situation goes away, and we get a grip on COVID, then I'll be able to get out there with some of the Beacon Productions crew and film a load.
We can ask Dominic Cummings to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Or you just get those cutout masks that are going around the internet and just everyone
do a Spartacus.
On. Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
We're all so like V for Vendetta, we've all got the same mask.
66 broadcasters turn political.
But a lot of that stuff could be. I mean, if you just look, for forest and trees brushing against each other and things like that, you might be able to just loop that kind of stuff, so you don't have to stand out there for half hour. Well, do you? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you're right. But
it's just getting to those locations, getting the equipment, and
it's like obviously you have a fight against some zombies in the woods. So whilst you've got the sort of foresty background, you've also then got to record all these noises during the fight and my own personal noises that Jack would make, my character Jack would make during the fight. So what would they be like? Grunting, I suppose, and strange noises like that. So we've got to film all that as well. And there's one or two lines that I've shouted during scenes like that, ad-libbed, because I didn't really write any dialogue into the script. And I'll have to record those lines so we can stick them over the relevant bit of the film. So I don't know how long it's going to take to do that, but like you say, I reckon, I'm confident we can do it in a reasonable period of time. We'll just have to wait and see. Liam, I noticed on TV a minute ago you were playing something, and it just caught my eye. I saw Molly on the screen. So
this is still what I've got to do. So you asked me on Z-Day to do a load of interviews. I'm trying still to cut all the wind noise out of it because I didn't have the windsock on my camera. But I just thought I'd just play it in the background, and these were some of the gentlefolk who decided to become zombies for the day. And I just thought, well, just I haven't forgotten you. I am still working on your video when I get the time. It's again, as Matt said, it's balancing the work-life balance because I'm still working, as well as being a parent to a young child. So I'm just balancing it wherever I can. I haven't forgotten everybody, but I am just I will get round to it, and that will be definitely done by the end of the year.
Mate, I'm just grateful for all the behind the scenes footage that you've done to date. There's if you haven't checked them out, guys, there's 3 on our YouTube page at the moment. The third of which is the mammoth one. I think it's nearly half an hour long, but
I got it under half an hour.
Yeah, it's about 27 minutes or something, isn't it? There's some really great footage from the 15th of June last year shoot in Botley near Southampton, where we had about, I think it was just over or around 50 zombie extras. We had about 100 commit to the day, and only about 50 turned up. So on first glance that morning, I was a little bit disappointed, but actually, when you look at it through the camera, it looks brilliant. And having 50 more there would have just been 50 more that I'd have to have shouted over and managed. And I think 50 was enough, to be fair, in retrospect.
I think you did bloody well to get over 10 because, you know, with these kind of things, you know, it's always nervous because obviously everyone knows that it's an amateur production. You know, at the end of the day, you got to think
people
to yourself,
giving up their time. It's totally unpaid as well.
Yeah, it's unpaid, but I mean,
that was a long day. I remember that was a long.
Exactly.
Matt, you came pick me up at what? Just before 8.
Yeah, something like that.
And we only got home about 6.
And I'll tell you, from my thing as well, it wasn't just the day. I was stressing about that for months leading up to it, like trying to work out where the hell I was going to film it. I went to quite a few public places, and the local councils just would not give me permission. And it's not the sort of thing you can just try and wing and get everyone to turn up, because if you do get turfed off, or you cheese off the local council, then all of a sudden production shut down and you're never going to get these people back again. So you've got to do it the right way. And I was really fortunate that my I think it was my mum actually, she got chatting to somebody at her, she jives. You heard of jiving? Yeah, it's like a form of dance apparently. Well, and this chap offered us the use of his field, which was brilliant. So I was extremely.
They were having a barbecue that day.
They were. All right, that's it.
Matt and I were by the hedgerow where it went into the 10-acre field, and suddenly all these people were around us, like, "What's going on here?" sort of thing. And it turned out that was the fellow whose land it was. And he was hosting like a party or a barbecue of some kind, and they came up and they were very nice, and they were sort of like, "So what actually is happening?" They go, "Yeah, we've got like dead people over there." I'm like, "What?"
Well, yeah, no, I think
there's a couple of walkers.
He invited them a lot.
Zombie walkers, but there was some general walkers who were just kind of ambling through, and that party, they were like, "Yeah."
We had the that day as well. That was brilliant. That was Billy, who was piloting, I suppose you say, do you say piloting for a drone or just controlling? I don't know. Piloting sounds good, doesn't it?
Piloting. Yeah, you pilot a drone. Yeah.
And really talented. I thought it was fantastic seeing that thing in operation.
Great. I was impressed by how stable he managed to keep it. So in that wing, because I've got a hobby drone myself, and I can tell you something: if you don't practice that thing every week, when you go back to it, you drive like I can't even think of a really clever simile to put to that. But yeah, I was impressed with his with the skills with this drone for sure.
Yeah, I think we've got some really good footage of like directly in front of the horde, working your way from left to right, and we've also got some bird's eye footage of the horde staggering across the field. So it is fantastic, and like Matt said, it's really stable as well. So it's totally usable. So that's good. I really look forward to seeing how Ben slots that into proceedings.
The perspective that we had when the drone scenes were going, it looked like the head level of the zombies.
It did look like all my extras that had given up their time for free.
Gave up their life.
Up with the cold, the wet. Right at the end of the day, it looked like we were going to decapitate the whole lot of them, but it was just totally perspective. They were perfectly safe. Matt doesn't look convinced.
No.
I might have some of the BTS drone footage here, in fact.
You recorded some from your angle?
Yeah. So this is, to give it a bit of context, this is kind of what it looked like for us.
Here we go. Oh.
But yeah, it was sort of like it stayed at the same the head level, and it just nearly went a bit Mortal Kombat from my perspective, but everyone was unharmed. I mean, I know you had, obviously, the health and safety had an accident, but you didn't have any injuries that day, did you?
No, it's totally perspective. He said that drone was, a decent distance away from them. And it's a big field, and it's a small drone. It's gonna look a lot closer to them than it actually was. But yeah, it was.
Wasn't he controlling on an iPhone? He had like what looked like a PlayStation controller with a slot on it for his iPhone.
The iPhone, Billy will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but from memory, I think basically there was a place on the remote for the iPhone to sit, and I think the iPhone acted as the monitor so that he could see through the camera what he was doing.
Right.
So yeah, he used the iPhone.
Total
Oh, you all went a little bit funny there.
No, sorry. So it was like POV then for the drone.
Yeah. But
cool.
yeah, no, it was really, really cool. We of course we had the Daily Echo lady turn up that day as well, who reported on the day's filming. So it was great to get a little bit of publicity via the Daily Echo, and I've got to give a shout out, of course, to Waitrose for supplying us with some biscuits, but mainly the Botley Co-op. Didn't they do a fantastic job? They supplied sandwiches, cakes, water,
apples.
Yeah, I ate a lot of apples that day.
Yeah, I could not believe the amount of food that turned up from the local co-op. I think, and that arrived just after we had that big downpour as well, if you remember. So I think that came at the perfect time, didn't it? People's morale had just sort of taken a massive dip due to the weather. So we broke for lunch, and then all that food turned up, and I think it perked everyone up again.
We were wet. We weren't even having any. We didn't even have any makeup.
Eh?
So just trying to stop that makeup from running from that rain was, a Herculean effort.
Yeah, well, that brings me on to the marquees, I suppose. Bloody hell, they were a task and a half to put up.
Yeah, I saw your post.
Yeah.
It's the porta potties, that's what I was more impressed with. In fact, you actually had a bog. You actually had a set of bogs. And I was like, wow, this is serious.
They're not cheap, I'll tell you that. I think it was about £300 and something for 3 of them. So, yeah, but you
had to provision those, didn't you?
You have to provide. People can't just pee.
Use the guy's toilet.
Well, that would annoy the guy's field if he found a load of human feculence in it. So
very kindly let us use his field. We can't do our business in the middle of his field. But there we are. I was a bit annoyed actually. At the end of the day, my trusty prop knife that I'd used for the whole production, I lost it somewhere in that field. I had a good old look around for it afterwards, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So that was a bit of a shame. That was going to be a nice little souvenir for me to keep from the film. But I've still got my hammer.
Well, in 20 years' time, when everyone knows about Day 66, and they watch this live stream, and they're like, "Let's find that field," and then. Yeah, it's like the Holy Grail, yeah? It's the Holy Grail of Day 66.
You've chosen wisely.
Yeah, the chap that owns the land's not going to thank you for saying that. I reckon someone pinched it, and actually if they did, I'll take that as a compliment, because it shows that they have such tremendous faith in this film doing well that they think that's going to be a valuable item to have in a few years' time. So actually, thank you to that person. Thank you for having faith in the production, and I hope that makes you a lot of money. Because if it makes you a lot of money, it means that it's made us a lot of money too. So there you go. What do you say?
I didn't say anything. I was waiting for the next question. Have we got any other questions?
Something. Sorry, my stream's gone a little bit fuzzy.
Dim, have we got another question lined up?
Yeah.
He's got a quiz, mate. He's got several questions.
Quiz.
I do have a quiz.
So what comes first? What's whose?
It's not the chicken or the egg question, is it?
No, not really. So basically, I just found this one and I thought it'd be a bit of fun for us to talk about here. It says, so you
Roger.
Oh, have we just
Oh,
lost Liam again?
Yeah, he's done his disappearing man routine again.
And there
Have I
we
gone
go.
off again?
Oh, we
Your
can hear
voice is
you.
there, but we can't see you.
God,
Which is...
there we go.
You're teasing us.
Yeah, no. Well, I've got God knows how much stuff all running off my home broadband right now. So
Yeah, no, it was
fine,
quite
man.
an impressive setup. Liam showed me his setup before we got started, Matt, actually, and it looks very professional.
Fantastic. Oh,
Gone
and
again.
again. So, what is this? Oh, where are you?
Oh.
Have we got any more questions from John or anything like that?
No,
is there any more Harbour Masters?
John only asked one question, and that's did Dean. However,
well, okay. Well, I've got a question.
Sounds a bit funny now.
Yeah. So, well, I've got a question for you, right?
Yeah.
Why zombies?
There we go. I can hear you again now. What'd you say?
Yeah. So that's my question. Why zombies?
Why not?
Why? Yeah.
I like zombie films. It's just, I mean, I watched the first zombie film when I was 10, which was the original Dawn of the Dead. I was round with mates having a sleepover. It was Halloween. I could not believe this film. It was amazing, gory, frightening. I was pretty terrified by it. I mean, you watch Dawn of the Dead back these days, and it's still an entertaining film, but an awful lot of it is very comical, really, in places. I mean, yes, it's gory, but compared to the sort of practical effects you can do these days, you know, it doesn't necessarily stand up too well. But there's just something about that film. I love it. It's in a shopping mall. I just love the fact that they can pretty much do what they want in this shopping mall. They've got it all to themselves. That, you know, they're nice and safe, but they get a bit complacent, don't they? And of course, it all goes a little bit wrong at the end, and
it goes a little bit wrong.
All goes a little bit wrong. Doesn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
It's just a classic film. I absolutely love it. The original one, like I said earlier, it's a little bit dated now. Third one, Day of the Dead. That's pretty good. In fact, I posted. I think I posted in after Day 66 feeds recently a link to one of the deaths from that film that I think is amazing. It's where this army dude gets ripped apart by zombies. I think that looks fantastic. It's really, really good special effects. And it's things like that that really inspired me to put a lot of effort into some of the practical effects in Day 66. Obviously, I've got nowhere near the same budget as these people. The budget is whatever I've got in my pocket on a particular day. And I think my favourite practical effect that we did was running over a head. And we made it explode. I basically made a paper mache head, filled it up with fake blood. What else was in there? Some cranberries, some jelly, bread. I basically YouTubed how to do this and did it as best I could.
How to squash a head, realistically.
Oh, well, it looked amazing. Well, no, it wasn't even the video wasn't about squashing a head. That bit was totally me and a bit of a punt. And I only made one of these things, so it had to go right in the first take. And fortunately, it did, and it looked brilliant. I can't wait for people to see it. It's disgusting.
Cool. I was eating a boiled egg the other day, and I was looking at this, and I had some beetroot with my salad as well, and I saw the white with this sort of beetroot liquid going over it, and it suddenly reminded me of Day 66, Z Day. Where I had to fumble with that egg that was supposed to be a zombie's eye and stick on the end of a knife, and I went, wow, of all the times to suddenly remember that, and it's when I'm eating my salad in front of my family. But I managed to push that image out of my head, and I continued to eat my salad, and I enjoyed it in the end. But I just thought I'd let you know that. That's just, yeah.
I can't let you overeating your salad.
Why not? I love my salad.
That's impressive, to be fair.
I've got to say, on Z Day, Matt, you with the blood. Now, the amount that you got covered in those gallons and gallons of that fake blood, wherever the hell you got that from, Russ, you know, Matt wore about 8 pairs of gloves and still it stained his hands. I mean, I think what an absolute champion for doing that.
Yeah, and I think I actually avoided my clothes as well, mostly. So I think
you were, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were prepping the intestines at that particular time.
Yeah,
is that right?
intestines, yep. Yeah.
So I made, I don't want to sort of give too much away about the scene, but
that's all in episode 3 anyway, the behind the scenes, you can see the intestines and that.
Yeah, so basically I made the intestines by, again, it was something I YouTube. And I thought I'd give it a go. I basically bought some tights and some tissue paper, and I cut the tights in half and filled the tights with tissue paper, sort of scrunched them up into balls, stuffed it into the tights, tied a knot at each end, tied those pairs of tights together. Did that with about 5 or 6 pairs and made a really long sort of thing of it. And on
I thought there was. Sorry, mate. Go on, carry on.
That's all right. And I tied it to an old T-shirt. And on the day in question, of course, you soaked it in blood just before we got going, and it looked really, really quite impressed with it.
Yeah, because I thought they were little foam blocks. I mean, obviously I'm wrong there, but I thought
tissue
they were little.
Paper, yeah, it
was just tissue paper. How about that?
I do anything to it in terms of turning it bloody too far in advance, because it would have just gone all mushy and horrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right. You got a nice ceiling.
I was being considerate for my neighbours because I suddenly realised it's 10:15. I've got all the windows open and I was being quite loud. So there you go. Liam, are we doing this quiz, or is it? Are there technical issues?
No. I'm good to go. If you are.
Awesome. Yeah, go for it.
Right, quiz time then.
Question number 1: What US city is Woody Harrelson's character named after in Zombieland? We have possibles if you'd like them.
Yeah, go on.
Wichita, Little Rock, Tallahassee, or Columbus?
I think it's that one, Tallahassee, isn't it?
That's your final answer.
It rings a bell, but I could be totally wrong. But
Matty, do you want to chime in?
No, I don't have a clue.
Tallahassee.
Well done.
Is correct.
Right.
Oh, right. I preempted that one. Carry on.
Question number 2. What does the A stand for in George A. Romero?
Ooh.
Is it Archibald, Albus, Alan, or Andrew?
What's the second option again?
I don't know. I don't know if they meant to write it 3 times or not, but that's just odd.
Are you going to scroll down to question 2 on the TV so I can see the options?
I have.
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Read them out again for me. I've not got the stream up.
Archibald, Albus, Alan, or Andrew?
Albus.
That's got to be a mistake. They probably only meant to write it once, but they did it 4 times because they're special.
Archibald.
Yeah, I'm going to go Archibald. I can't imagine
final answer.
Playing as Alan or Andrew. And Albus.
It's Andrew.
Doesn't sound right.
Andrew.
It's Andrew.
Is it? Okay. Well, we dropped a point. I can live with that.
Question number 3. Which classic novel is I Walked with a Zombie based on?
Gonna need some choices.
What? Is it Jane Eyre, Rebecca, Pride and Prejudice, or Wuthering Heights?
Well, I know there's a Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, so I think that's
Maybe that inspired that film. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that as well.
We're going Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
Let's give that a go.
It was Jane Eyre.
Oh.
Fair enough.
I've never even heard of that film.
So, to be fair, if you're going to get a question wrong, you might as well get that one wrong.
In Delamorte Delamore,
who?
What's this name of Delamorte's monosyllabic sidekick?
What are the options, Liam?
Delamorte Delamore. What's the name of Delamorte's monosyllabic sidekick? We got Versace, Vino.
Versace, that they make bags. Heard of... Don't they?
I'm going to go for Joey.
Joey.
Yeah.
It's Nyaki. Oh, I know this one. What's the name of the pub the gang hideout in Shaun of the...
Oh,
do you need a
Winchester, isn't it?
It's the what?
Yeah, it's gone. It's the Winchester.
Winchester, that's right.
Cool. One for Matt.
Hello.
What's the name of the virus in the Resident Evil movies?
COVID-19.
Well, technically there's two in Resident Evil, if I'm going to be pernickety, but they've got the S, the T, the Z, or the K virus.
Sorry, what were the options again? Sorry, say that again.
S, T, Z, or K.
Oh, well, it's basically anything.
I'm hovering over the answer here because I know it.
Well, go on then.
It's the T virus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's some. I think it's the T virus.
There's also the G virus in Resident Evil 2, which turns William Birkin into that big blob thing. But anyway.
Yeah, because the Z virus. Where have I heard Z virus? There's something in the.
One of the viruses created Nemesis. Same one that created the Lickers. I can't remember what that was.
The Lickers?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they had their brains exposed and had long tongues. And there's one in Resident Evil 2 that jumps through that window and I shat myself every time. Matt, you know the exact bit I mean, don't you?
Yes, I do. You're talking about when the dog. Sorry, when the dog jumps through the window.
No, when the liquor jumps through the window. When you go in the interview room.
Yeah, yes.
So you go through and it's just a mirror. You go get the health potion and you think, oh, that's all right. And you come back.
Yeah. I remember.
Here you go, Russ. What's the name of the mall?
I've read this one.
What's the name of the mall?
I am not sure at all, but for some reason, Clearwater is shouting out to me to be the right answer, but I could be totally wrong. But I'm going to go.
You go Clearwater?
There's something about Clearwater that tells me it might be right.
The Monroeville Mall.
Oh.
I'd be interested to know what Clearwater rings a bell for some reason. I wonder if it might just be I'm totally making that up, but
it's a shopping centre in Romford, isn't it?
There. I'll have to Google that later. It's bugging me.
Okay. Question number 8. Which animal does a zombie fight in Zombie Flesh Eaters? Is it a crocodile, a bear, a shark, or a grumpy squirrel? What?
In which film, sorry?
Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Zombie Flesh Eaters. I
think that's one of the films where, because again, I could be wrong. I think that's one of the Video Nine in the 80s, isn't it? One of those films. And I went through a period when I was a teenager of trying to watch as many of those as possible. And that would have been one of them. And God, some of them were atrocious films. But I certainly don't remember a scene where a zombie's fighting an animal like that. The fact that they put a grumpy squirrel in there, surely it's got to be the answer, because it's so ridiculous, isn't it? It's like that film they made called Zombievers. I've not actually got around to seeing that yet, but I mean, that's
I've seen that. It's bad. Yeah. It's on. I saw it on Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, we're trying to make a zombie movie, but I shouldn't really go around trashing other zombie movies. But
I'll go Grumpy Squirrel. Let's see.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It was a
It was a shark. I can't imagine a zombie versus a shark.
Remind me which film this is again?
Fight a shark in James Bond.
Yeah, remind me which film this is so that I can make sure I'd never watch it. Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Yeah, that was
Zombie Flesh Eaters, right, yes, okay.
Which famous comic actor played Zombie Fido in the 2006 movie Fido? Barrett, Michael Palin, Ricky Gervais.
I've never seen the film. I can't.
Oh god, this is pressure pad all over again, isn't it?
Jasper Carrot, has he actually done anything recently? He was in that program, The Detectives, years ago, and I
remember The Detectives with
the Golden Balls
Robert Powell.
these days?
I thought Golden. I didn't think Golden Balls was still going. Was it?
Probably not.
No, I'm never a fan of that. But okay, what do you want to go for?
Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
He's correct.
Hooray!
Process of elimination, really. I couldn't imagine the others doing it.
Weren't you talking about Video Nasties? Which of these zombie movies was not on the official list of Video Nasties? You have Zombie Holocaust, Zombie Flesh Eaters, Toxic Zombies, aka Blood Eaters or Forest of Fear, or Zombie Creeping Flesh?
Second to last one.
Toxic Zombies. No, it was Zombie Holocaust.
Okay.
What a name of a film. Dan O'Bannon directed 1981 cult classic Return of the Living Dead. But before that, which zombie movie did he write the screenplay for? Was it Dawn of the Dead, Erotic Nights of the Living Dead, Dead and Buried, or Zombie Flesh Eaters?
Well, sorry, Erotic Nights of the Living Dead? That's got to be an illegal film, surely.
Oh,
well, yeah, there's so much I could say about that.
I'm going to go Dead and Buried.
What were you going to say, Matt?
No, I was good. Did we watch the 3D zombie film that was a bit
sexy?
A bit sexy, wasn't it? What was it? It was it was 3 Japanese ladies that hardly wore anything, and one of them was a ex-pornographic actress, or maybe she was, I don't know, but that was
Hostile.
He's not Japanese, but
what was it called? What was it called? Can you bloody remember? He's got it as well. Yeah, of course he has.
You're not talking about this trash, are you?
Yeah, that's
zombie strippers.
No.
Yeah, Japanese.
No, it's not that one. It was
it was Japanese ones in that.
Oh, I've definitely seen it with somebody. Was it you, Russ?
Well,
hang on, I'm gonna have to try. Carry on with the quiz. I'll try and find out.
It's bugging me now.
What do you want to go for, Russ?
Dead and Buried.
Dead and Buried is correct. Which of these is not the name of a real zombie movie? Big Tit Zombie, Flight of the Living Dead, Dead and Breakfast, or Dead and Butter?
Right.
Well,
Big Tit Zombie, that's the film. That is the film.
Is it?
One of you owns that film, and I
got Flight of the Living Dead.
I knew that.
I know it's not that because I got Flight of the...
I knew that's a film. So it's got to be one of the other two, isn't it?
Well, it's not Big
Dead
Tit
and
Zombie.
Breakfast or Dead and Butter?
Well, they're both ridiculous, aren't they? Let's go Dead and Butter.
Dead and Butter is correct, which means Dead and Breakfast is in fact a film.
Well, I mean, Dead and Butter just seemed even more ridiculous than that one, but there we are.
According to IMDb, how many litres of fake blood was used in the final scene of Peter Jackson's Brain Dead? 3 litres, 30 litres, 300 litres, or 3,000 litres?
Well,
I'll go 3,000, I think.
Yeah, I'm saying 3,000.
It's got to be the biggest number, otherwise I wouldn't be asking, surely. No, it was 300.
Fair enough.
Which of these groups have not been pitted versus zombies in the title of a movie? Firemen, Scouts, Cockneys, and Navy SEALs. Well,
That's the
Cockneys
first
versus Zombies
or
is a
the first
movie.
or the fourth one. So what was it?
Firemen versus Zombies or Navy SEAls versus Zombies?
I reckon Fireman.
Firemen. Correct. Goblin provided the soundtrack for George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. With which other legendary horror director do they frequently collaborate? Toby Hooper, Wes Craven, Eli Roth, or Dario Argento?
Dario, I think.
Is
I don't
correct.
have a clue.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just leaving it to the film buff here. Name the semi-sentient, docile zombie in George A. Romero's Day of the Dead.
Oh wait, don't say anything. I think his name's, isn't it like Bub, or it begins with B? I think. Go with the options.
All the possibles begin with B. You've got Bill, Bub, Ben, or Bob.
It's Bub.
Bub, final answer.
Yeah.
Correct. Ooh. At the end of 28 weeks later, which country did Tammy and the infected Andy fly to in a helicopter?
Oh, I'm going to have to... I think, Matt, you've probably seen this one a few more times than I have, because I've never owned it, and I think I've only seen it once.
It glitched out a little bit there. Can you say it again?
28 weeks
Sorry.
later. I think I've
28
only ever
weeks
seen it
later, yeah.
Yeah, what
So 28 weeks later, so the Robert Carlyle one.
At the end of the film. They helicopter somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. Yeah, because they take off a skyscraper or something, don't they? Am I right? Is that the one that the?
No. Is it France or somewhere like that? Do we think? Wouldn't have gone too far on the helicopter, would they?
You've got Spain, Germany, Belgium, or France.
Well,
Go with France. Yeah, it's been a while since I last saw that film.
Correct.
Geez, well done. Nice.
The tagline, Herbert West had a very good head on his shoulders and another one in a dish on his desk. Name the movie. Brain Dead, The Evil Dead, Reanimator, or Zombie Flesh Eaters?
Scroll down if you haven't already done so.
Yeah.
All right, the live stream of YouTube needs to catch up then.
Yeah, there's a lag.
Is that going to be from the film? Am I?
I guess so.
I'm going to go Reanimator. That looks like it's from Reanimator. That's still.
You happy with that, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct.
That's an amazing film, Reanimator.
Oh, I actually know that. I think I know this one, but
see now.
Brad Pitt's...
Let me just stop you. Reanimator. Herbert West Reanimator was a novel by H.P. Lovecraft, and they
Lovecraft Reanimator or something like that.
Yeah, but from what I've read, that Herbert West Reanimator is probably one of the first stories that talks about bringing bodies back from the dead and then them killing other people. And I've read, because I love my Lovecraft. I've got a massive compendium of Lovecraft stories, and it is actually worth reading if you haven't read it before. It's you got to get it once you get past the 1920s, 1930s literature style. It's actually very good. So yeah, Herbert West Reanimator, definitely worth a read if you want to have a go at that.
Cool.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, I digress. Carry on.
Brad Pitt stars in World War Z.
Top one.
Who plays his wife?
Definitely the
Muriel
top one.
Enos?
Yeah, that's her.
Not Rachel McAdams, Naomi Watts, or Rachel Nichols?
Oh, top one.
Okay, it's not what I thought it was. I was thinking of something else. I thought it was that woman from Sabotage. I can't think of her name. I thought she was his wife.
It is.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh. Oops.
Well, just as well we've got Russ here then, isn't it?
Yeah. She was also in a drama that was picked up by Netflix. I can't remember what it was called. Was it The Killing? Which also starred...
Don't have Netflix.
what was the bloke's name? I've forgotten his name. This is a really shit comment to say when I can't remember anymore.
I don't want to say, but
Move on. I got it right.
in Life After Beth, what kitchen appliance does undead Beth have strapped to her when she goes hiking with Zach? Is it a dishwasher, a fridge, an oven, or a washing machine?
Jesus.
Well, she's done well, isn't she? Did she actually manage to walk with this thing attached to her? What one of those
I'm not sure it's
you
real.
realistically walk with attached to you? Probably none of them. I'd probably find.
Well, people people have like washing machines on their back in the London Marathon, don't they? You get those like SAS guys who like run the London Marathon with like a washing machine on them.
You'd walk like a zombie, whichever of those you were dragging around, wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't be able to walk any different.
So what do you want to say?
Oh, who cares? It's such a stupid question. Let's go with a fridge.
Because it's the biggest one. The answer is an oven.
Fair dues.
12 out of 20.
That's not too bad. We got over half right. Pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Congrats.
Nice. Good stuff.
That was a bit of fun, wasn't it? So.
Well done, Russ.
Thank you. Well, we all partook. So, yeah.
Some more than others.
Bless you. I'm trying to think what else there is to mention, guys, about the film. I think we've pretty much covered all we wanted to tonight, haven't we? Yeah, I don't think there's anything much more to waffle on about before people lose interest. So perhaps we'll wrap it up there. I'd like to do another one of these at some point in the future. I think we'll wait until perhaps we've got a trailer for you or something, because what would be quite nice is to introduce a trailer via this type of method, wouldn't it? We could talk a little bit about it afterwards, perhaps, or something like that. So thanks very much to everyone for tuning in, and if you've made it this far, for sticking around with us. It's been fun. I think we've been going for about an hour, quarter,
nearly an hour and a half.
Nearly an hour and a half. That's not too bad going, is it? So thank you very much, and again, thank you for your support and for following us on this journey. We look forward to having something for you to see soon in the form of a trailer. So make sure you stay tuned on the social media so that we can announce when that will be. If you haven't already done, please do subscribe to the Tribe Media YouTube channel. The reason being is all the content that Liam up there is putting together in terms of all the behind the scenes stuff, but also the trailer and the event premiere on this YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, you may potentially miss out. Please also remember to like and share our posts. It really does mean a lot to you doing that. It gets the word out there, it spreads the word. Matt, thanks for your efforts with the music today, buddy, and for joining us tonight.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And Liam, thanks ever so much for hosting tonight. And yeah,
it was a bit amateurish in parts.
Well,
I've had a few problems tonight, but yeah. So
it's the first one of these we've done, isn't it? So I think, all things considering, it's been a success. And thank you very much for your efforts.
You've done absolutely perfectly fine, mate.
Awesome. You've got to work.
Have a good night, everyone.
And switch it off successfully now.
Yeah, I've got it.
Everyone will
be pretty easy
inside of your lounge all night. Nice. Take care, guys.
Right.
All the best. Stay safe.
See you later.